Hi everyone, welcome to today's live. I'm gonna try and be going live. I always say that. Welcome. Let me introduce myself. So, my name is Shola, and this is Edits by Any. And I know a lot of you are nervous, you're curious, you're confused about what is going on, the YouTube tax changes. So this is it. And if you don't know anything about taxes, in the US and in other countries, you get taxed, okay? And there's not been, in the past, it has not been really clear about, being taxed as a YouTube content creator. But now it is clear. It is clear. You get taxed, you file your taxes. In the US, I've had since I had my YouTube channel, and they instated monetization and all that stuff. I've been paying my taxes, I've been filing my taxes. And living in the US, you get a percentage taken off depending on where you fall. So now they came out with this thing. So YouTube came out with this thing where they said, if you are outside of the US, you're also going to be taxed. Okay. So that's just the straightforward meaning of what's going on. You're going to be taxed. Now, I will advise you guys to do something for me. Number one, I will advise you to go and watch the YouTube video and really understand what is going on and why that is happening, what is happening. But you get taxed. So because of that, in this video, in this live stream, we'll be talking about it. We'll also be talking about how to file your taxes and how to file your taxes going through Google AdSense. I'm going to be sharing with you some very good YouTube tutorials of people that they've created wonderful tutorials on how to file your taxes, especially if you're outside of the US. So if you're monetized, this applies to you. If you're not monetized, this doesn't apply to you, but I still want you to watch because you will get monetized eventually. So let's start this. So a couple of things that I'm going to do. I'm going to share my screen and I will be showing you what you need to do to better understand these tax changes. So for these tax changes, what you want to do is that you want to go here to YouTube and then you want to search for YouTube tax changes. Okay, so you're going to do that. Now you're going to see a whole bunch of videos out there. Now the key video is this one right here that you want to watch. Now, this video really breaks down everything. It breaks down how much will you be taxed and things of that sort. So I'm going to play it. Hopefully, YouTube will not demonetize. Well, I'm not monetized on this channel. But anyway, okay. So we're going to play it and then I'm going to break it down, what is going on. So let's play this and then let's try and understand what is actually going on. So first of all, they start off and let me do this and I'm going to put on the volume so that we can all hear and we can all understand what's going on. And then if we have questions like, wait a minute. So while I'm playing this, if you have questions like, wait a minute, what is going on? What did this person say? Why is this person saying like that? You are confused. This is the time that you can ask me and say, why is that person saying whatever? Okay. And what does it mean? And this gives you more clarification. So we're going back in there and so I'm going to go back in there and then you're going to go and you're going to click on this. Okay. When you click on it, it's going to play the YouTube video. Let me enlarge it. Remember, you want to search for YouTube tax changes and then you're going to play and let me make sure the volume is loud enough.
In this video, we'll walk you through important tax changes that may soon impact monetizing creators outside of the United States. We know that tax information can be overwhelming, so we're going to walk you through everything you need to know about what's changing and the steps you need to take. And be sure to check out the links in the description for even more detail. Let's dive in. First, what's happening? If you're a creator outside of the US, you may begin to have taxes deducted from your US earnings later this year. Google has a responsibility under Chapter 3 of the US Internal Revenue Code to collect tax information from all monetizing creators outside of the US, and in certain instances, to deduct taxes when these creators earn income from viewers in the U.S.
Okay, so let me stop right there. So to let you know, number one, there's a lot of misinformation saying that YouTube is the one that is creating this tax stuff. No, YouTube is not the one creating these tax changes. It was brought from the US government, the government. So you can see chapter 3 of the IRS, the government is the one that said they need to do this tax. Somebody called it a digital taxing or whatever. So it is the government. It's not YouTube at all. Second thing, as you can see over there, they said in certain instances, so it's not everyone that is going to be taxed, it's just certain instances of people. So in certain instances, to deduct taxes when their creators earn income from viewers in the US. So this is when you earn money from viewers in the US. Now, how do you know what you earn from viewers in the US? That is when you have to get familiar with your analytics. If you don't get familiar with your analytics, you might not know. So it is not that you'll be taxed on all the income that you get. You're going to be taxed on the income from viewers in the US. So do you want to know how to check to see what information, how much you're going to get taxed? So let's do that now. So I'm going to show you, and I'm going to, let me go out of this, and then let me bring up an channel that I have that is monetized. So I'm going to switch to a channel that I have that is monetized. Give me 1 second to set everything up appropriately. Let me go into that account, and I'll be able to show you how to figure out what amount you get taxed. So you want to go into your analytics, and then you want to go into revenue. So let's do this, okay? I'm going to just put for 7 days. So let me share it now. Just give me 1 second. Stop sharing that screen. And I'm going to share the screen, because you know how I do it on this channel. I always give you the information. So here is my YouTube. So this is a YouTube channel that I have, and I'm going to show you right now. You can see you want to go into analytics, you want to go into revenue. When you go into revenue, then you want to click here, okay? Or you can go scroll down, okay, and look at all the information. Now, what you want to do is that you want to go to see more, click on see more right over here. When you click on see more, you'll be able to find out your sources, your revenue sources, where your money is coming from. So what you're going to do is that within the revenue, you're going to come here, estimated revenue. Remember, this is all estimated. So YouTube is still going to take a cut from this. So this is just estimated. So what you want to go is that you want to come here, you want to go to more metrics. When you go to more metrics, then you can come here, you can look at your revenue, you can look at all this information where your revenue is, all this other information right here. So there are key information here that will tell you which one is YouTube revenue, premium revenue, estimated revenue, all your revenue. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to come to the geography. Okay, you see this geography? You can create a secondary metrics. So secondary metrics, come here, and in there with the, so in here, you go to geography. Right here in geography, you see over here, you have different countries. So you see where you have US, you have UK, you have other countries. So they're taxing it on your United States views. So if I come into my United States right here, then you can come in here and I'm viewing per revenue. So now it's like views per geography. Now I can come here, I can say more metrics. In here, I can come and I can go to the estimated revenue. It sounds confusing, but you first have to go geography, get your geography, and then go there and get your estimated revenue. So your estimated revenue, remember, is a guesstimated. It's not the full amount you're going to get paid. You'll be paid more, less than that, not more, because YouTube is still going to take their own cut. So here you have the estimated revenue per geography. So you can see here, this, remember I did the US. So in the US, even though I'm supposed to get like 73, you can see this is how it breaks down. It's not going to dig deep in, but this is the US. Now, if I change the geography and I change it to UK, right here, you can see I'm only going to be taxed this amount, 73.27. I'm not going to be taxed all this extra amount because I didn't make this money in the US. I made this, just this one, 73.27 in the US. So this is how you find out how much money you're going to be taxed on. So moving on to the next thing. Thank you so much. Hi, Zion, Lady Zion. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're watching this. So let's continue with let's continue with the video that we're watching. Okay. So back to the video that we're watching, and I'm breaking down everything in this video for you so that you understand everything right from YouTube, not from other sources, because so many people are misrepresenting and misinforming people. So that is how you know how much money how much money the taxes are going to be deducted from. Not how much taxes will be deducted, but this is how much money, your grand amount of money, where the deduction is going to come out of. Okay, so moving on, let's continue. Okay, so let me press play.
These US earnings can come from ad views, YouTube Premium, Super Chat, Super Stickers, and channel memberships. So what does this mean for you? Over the next few weeks, you'll be asked to submit your tax information in AdSense. Here's how you find it.
Okay, so now this is where you will submit your tax information. You have to submit your tax information, unless if you don't submit it at the time that they want you to submit it, the amount of percentage of taxes that they're going to take out is going to be way more. Please, if you are watching this, please share this out, because to so many people. So now you have to go to Google AdSense. The issue with Google AdSense is not even an issue. Let's say you have multiple channels. For me, for example, I have four channels that you all know about, which is that are monetized, which is three channels that are monetized, but I have like 5 channels, then extras. Okay, so the 3 channels that are monetized that I have them under one Google AdSense. So they are under one Google AdSense. I don't have separate Google AdSense for each. So since all these channels are under one Google AdSense, I am only going to fill out one tax form. Okay, so it's important. Now, I want to tell you something. If you are under a MCN, what is an MCN? MCN is a multi-channel network. If you're under a multi-channel network, what is going to happen is that you will have to talk to them, but you will still have to go into your Google AdSense and make these changes. Don't just say, oh, you're under an MCN, you don't have to make these changes. You will still have to go to your Google AdSense and make those changes. So I hope you understand that. Okay, let's keep on playing. So, okay.
In AdSense, go to Payments, and then Manage Settings. You'll see an option to manage your US tax information there. You'll be asked a series of questions to determine the appropriate tax form. This online tax form will be available in your selected AdSense language.
Okay, so if you are living anywhere outside of the US, if you're living anywhere outside of the US, there's a very good video that I watched by a young lady called, let me see where I put her name, Victoria Ajadi. I'm going to show you her channel. She shows exactly how to fill out the form, but I want you to also go to our channel. So let me show you what our channel looks like. So I'm going to go, let me minimize this. I'm going to go to our channel. So you just want to search for Victoria Ajadi. Okay. So that's the person you want to go to, and this is the video you want to watch. Please watch a video. This is my first time I've watched a video. This is my first time knowing this young lady. She did a brilliant job stating what to do and what she should not do. Okay, so let's continue.
AdSense language. Generally, for creators outside of the US, this will be either Form W8BEN, which is typically for individuals, or Form W8BENE, which is typically for businesses. If you're unsure about which forms you need to fill out, you should consult a tax advisor. Note, even if you're paid by an MCN, you will still need to submit your tax info in the AdSense account that's linked to your channel.
Okay, so that was what I was saying. You still, even if you are paid by an MCN, you still need to submit your tax form information. And yeah, so let's continue.
How much will you be taxed? How much you'll be taxed depends on a few things. It depends on if your valid tax form has been submitted or not, how much your channel earns from US viewers, and if your country has a tax treaty with the US.
Okay, so that last part, so you will be taxed if you have, how much you'll be taxed depends on number one, as you see, how much you'll be taxed depends on number one, how and if you have submitted this form. If you don't submit this form, you'll be taxed way more, and we'll get into that. Now, number two, it depends also on what I showed you earlier, how much views you got and how much revenue you got from US views, okay, from people coming from the US to view. Okay, so the third thing is that if your country has a tax treaty with the United States, and they're going to get more into it. So let's dig more into this. So let's continue.
That you've claimed the benefits for. Let's dive into each of these factors. First, is your tax form submitted? Once you submit a valid tax form, you can find your tax withholding rate in the payment section of AdSense. Tax withholding rates are between 0 to 30% depending on your country and are applied to your monthly US earnings from AdSense. If you want to calculate your US earnings, go to YouTube Analytics and then Advanced Mode. Then select the date range you want to look at. Since you're paid monthly, we suggest setting the date range to look at the month you want to calculate. Then click Geography. From here, add a secondary metric and choose your estimated revenue. From there, find the US in the list of countries below the graph to see your estimated US revenue.
And that was what I showed you guys earlier. So it's so straightforward. So that is how you find it.
For example, if your withholding rate is 30% and you make $200 from the US every month, $60 would be withheld monthly. Now what happens if your tax form is not submitted? If Google does not have tax forms from you by the time these changes go into effect, Google will be required by law to presume you're a US person if you have an individual AdSense account. This means until we have your completed tax info, we may need to withhold up to 24% of your total earnings worldwide, not just your US earnings. So the earlier you can get your forms in, the better. And finally, does your country have a tax treaty with the US? Some countries have a tax treaty with the US that can potentially reduce the tax withholding rate on your revenue. So if you submit your tax info and claim a treaty benefit, your tax rate might be reduced. For example, partners in the UK or Canada may be eligible for a tax rate of 0%, while partners in Mexico or Korea may be eligible for a tax rate of 10%. AdSense will automatically surface the opportunity to claim a treaty benefit if one exists between your country and the US. To claim a tax treaty benefit, you'll need to provide a non-US tax identification number in the tax identity section of the tax tool in AdSense.
Now, this tax identification number can be called different things in where you are. So it's just, they call it, some places they call it your social insurance number. So you need to go to the country you're in, What is the number that you use? Some other people call it, I think there's one called FIN or something of that sort. So many things. So you need to know what that is, because you cannot just claim that you live in a country that has tax treaty with the US, whereas you don't. Okay, so there's no corner with this. So keep that in mind. Let's continue.
This is issued by your local tax authority or government, or in some cases, you can provide a U.S. tax identification number, like an employer identification number, EIN, or an individual tax identification number, ITIN. To see a list of countries that currently have a U.S. tax treaty, check out the link in the description to the IRS website. For more detailed information on this tax requirement, please check out our Help Center and the links in the description below.
Okay, so we have gone through it with, this is the real information. This is unfiltered. This is no misinformation. So you all, if you have any questions, send me a message. I'm Edits by Annie, and this is the true fact. Everybody is getting taxed. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you in the next chat. Thanks for watching. Bye.